Please tell me your full name and where and when you were born.
Kenneth Delph, born Higher Post Office Road, Route 1, East Bernstadt.
What year were you born?
1939, October 3rd.
Do you have any family members that are serving or have served in the military?
Yes, I had two uncles in World War II. I had one uncle in World War I, and a brother in World War II. He stayed from 1940 to 1945, stayed through all of it.
What were you doing before you entered the service?
I was working on farms, anywhere there was a job I was working. I got tired of doing that, and I thought, well, I'll go to the Army. So in 1960, actually in 1959 was when I started thinking about it. And then the more I thought about it, the more I thought I really wanted to do it. So in May of 1960, I went to the military. Took basic training at Fort Knox.
What happened when you departed for boot camp and during your early years of service?
Yeah, I went to Fort Gordon, Georgia, at Southeastern Signal School. And there I learned to be a pole jockey. Climb telephone poles, hanging wire. And then after I finished that training, I was there 8 weeks. After I finished that training, shipped right out to Germany. Took a 7-day leave, went home, got married, and left for Germany. I spent 25 months and 13 days in Germany. I got the JFK extension. So I was supposed to stay 36 months, but they dropped that year extension. And I ended up with staying, instead of 24, I stayed 25 months and 13 days in Germany.
How did you adapt to the military life?
I loved it. I used to make moonshine and carried barrels through the woods. So yeah, I was pretty tough out there, so none of it bothered me. I went through it all good.
Can you tell me anything about the barracks and the food?
Huh?
Can you tell me anything about the barracks and the food and your physical regimen they had you do?
Well, we lived in, it's 3-story buildings. Fairly nice barracks. And the food, yeah, we had a good mess sergeant. He put out some pretty good food. I was used to eating rabbit, squirrels, and whatever we could get to eat back when I was growing up, so there was no problem me adopting to eating military food.
Do you remember arriving in Germany and what it was like?
Yeah, I got on a ship in New York. Stayed on that ship, 17 days, I believe, on the ship to get into England. Then we took a train out of England into Germany. Went to, let's see, because I can't remember the name of the place there in England, but it's right to get close to Germany. Anyway, we took a train from there, spent one day and night on the train, went to Karlsruhe, Germany. And that's where I wound up at Kazuski Barracks, 25th Signal Battalion.
What were your duties?
Climbing telephone poles, stringing wire, spiral 4 cable. And then you couldn't climb telephone poles in Germany because they was getting all concrete poles. And you had to have hooks to climb the poles. So we started using A-frames going across the German fields, putting up A-frames with guy wires to keep them steady. We'd hang a spiral 4 cable on that. And we went from one place where the beginning of it was all the way to Varnheim, Germany with it. That's where we was camped at. And then we was hooked in with 7th Army headquarters. I think General Wright was the commander of 7th Army. And he had communications with our battalion. In fact, he even come visit us a couple of times. We was out there for about 40 days. Toughing it out in the field.
Can you tell me about some of the special people you met?
What I really remember most of all was from basic training was an old Sergeant Zimba. He was World War II veteran, and he retired in 1961. I went to his retirement ceremony. He retired out of Germany. Hurdle, he was the assistant platoon sergeant. And I didn't see him no more for a long time. And then we wound up going on that ship to Germany together. And he's one told me, he said, now, we can smoke, we get up on top deck, we'll hide out up there, we can sit there and smoke. Back then I smoked. And, well, he did too. We could sit up there and smoke, stay away from everybody, and we'd go back down to our barracks, down south. And we had a pretty good time. And Hurdle, he was, I guess he was kind of like my mentor for talk to, for a long time. Well, 17 days on that ship, we was together going to Germany. And he's one told me, he said, you take top bunk. Said, don't ever get on the bottom bunk. Said, when you're traveling, all them people not used to being on the ship, we get out there, they start rock and rolling, people get sick. So don't be on the bottom bunk, get on top. The bunk was stacked 4 high. That ladder to get up to. But I always got the top bunk.
How did you stay in touch with family and friends back home?
I wrote letters. Yeah.
Were you awarded any medals?
You mean over time? All over, yeah. I got all kinds of medals. I got aviation wings. I'm certified helicopter aviation. Got wings for that. And I got air medals because I did a lot of flying in Vietnam. And I really don't know how many awards I got on the air medal, but I had a few. And then I got 3 Bronze Stars out of Vietnam. But I had 3 tours in Vietnam. So I think I got a Bronze Star every time I was there. And I got 4 Army Commendation Medals, 1 Military Service Medal, and the medals of the Vietnam War, I got all those. I don't know how many it was. I got a chest full of them. Then my wings goes on top. I guess they figure that's the highest medal you get. So usually it's on top. Same way you brought stars, everything goes on top.
Will you tell me about the day your service ended?
Happy day. Yeah, I was at Fort Knox, Kentucky. Back there for about my third, fourth time. I decided to retire. A lot of people tried to talk me out of it, wanted me to stay. I even had a colonel come down from Department of Defense. Said, I'll get you promoted right now, so I can promote you to E8 if you'll stay and go with me to Fort Hood, Texas. Said I'm going up there, take over the, I think, second brigade of the 1st Scout Division. And he said, I want you to be my top man up there on maintenance. So that would have included the aircraft and the motor codes and stuff. So I told him, no, I can't do it. I'm going to retire. I said, I'm tired. He said, yeah. He said, I know the feeling, said, because you have sure been around her. But he couldn't talk me out of it. That one I had retired.
How did you readjust to civilian life?
It's kind of rough. I'd see people doing something, and I'd want to jump them because it was wrong, the way they do it. It was a little tough for a while. I finally got used to all the ignorance and quit saying anything to them.
What did you do after your military service?
Yeah, I did a lot of things. I would run heavy equipment. I was good at dozer operator. We stripped coal around here in Kentucky, or Laurel County and a couple of other counties. And I'd run a dozer, or I could run a front loader. Well, I could even run a pan. In fact, I had run a pan. In fact, I even spent about 3 years in the engineers in the Army. So I learned to operate everything. So I guess I was pretty good at it.
Have you remained in contact or reunited with fellow veterans?
With fellow brothers. No, one of my best friends, Hurdle, we was in Vietnam. We went there together in '65. And they had that big battle with Colonel Moore. And that was one of the biggest battles in Vietnam. And he got killed in it. Yeah, I lost a lot of friends over there.
How did your military experiences affect your life?
It made me better for a while. What made me the better, for the most part, was we could have won that war. And I met the chief of staff of the Army. He was with Vietnam. He come over to visit, but he was with Vietnam 4-star general. He was the commander of all Vietnam. He said, I was telling us that we got 600,000 troops here in Vietnam right now. That was in December of '65. He said, if they would turn us loose and let us do it, Said we got enough troops we could just hold hands and walk all the way to Hanoi to Carolina. But no, you can't fire, you can't do this. Congress got involved in it and tied her hands. Oh, you can't shoot at them unless they were shooting at you. I will not talk to her about that.
What message would you like to leave for future generations who will view this video? What message would you like to leave for future generations that are going to view this video?
For future generations, every young man reaches the age of 18, if he's not in college, he should join the military, and he can also get to finish up college in the military. And they should join the military and pull at least 3 years, and they will learn a lot from it. It makes them a better person when they do get out. Instead of getting out here, getting in trouble, trying to rob people, kill people, wreck and stuff, they need to learn. And the military does teach you.
Is there anything you feel like we haven't discussed or should be added to this interview?
No, not really.